right. So now you just ignoring me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. They're both complete phones, aren't they?
Yes, we are, mate. Yeah, we're pretty shite when it comes to technology, but I think we're on, John. I think we're there. We're sorted. So,
can you still hear me through Riverside, though? That's what I'm interested in.
I can if I turn the sound on, yeah.
Right, but I've muted my Mac. So, I mean, look, seriously, you guys are being treated to something here. This is Jono trying to get his head around some kind of new technology.
This cricket podcast that we do on a Friday night in talking about cricket is all of a sudden rapidly turning into Jono being an absolute useless numpty when it comes to downloading stuff.
Oh, yeah, anything tech, and I'm knackered. We must say, our sponsors, Big Smoke Brewery, good evening. We have to show it now. We're having to show it to like multiple cameras. I feel like one of them slags on Babe Station. I'm going to shake.
Please do not get your arse out. Whatever you do.
Say, no one wants to see me shaking my bits at a load of different cameras. That's for sure. So yes, if you ever have any, if you have any questions or you've got any points about any of the stuff that we talked about, send us. I mean, Notty, you would love to see my arse being shaken in front of a load of cameras. I'm sure that, obviously.
Is that one of them like a height chart behind you where you're getting like a number on in front of you?
It'd be a big old fucking number to cover me up, sunshine. I'll tell you that for now. If you are watching on Twitter Live or Facebook Live, come and join our Instagram Live. I'm saying that because you just told me to, not because I understand why I'm saying it.
Or YouTube.
But Slogging Pod is where we're at. Right, first off, Simon, I'll go through the first thing with you. 3 Australians.
Yeah.
Before that, the first I heard about this, there's a new thing called Third Man Cricket on social media, which is really, really good. We're doing a few bits and pieces with them, run by a guy from Stoke called Ash and a couple of his mates. They just started a podcast, which is pretty cool. I had to listen to the first one earlier, so we'll be doing a fair few bits and pieces with them. They literally Aussie bashed for about the first 40 minutes of their podcast. It was absolutely brilliant. But they were talking about these guys being released from their IPL franchises. Like Finch, Smith, Maxwell. Smith had a shocker of an IPL. Maxwell, I think people just expect far too much of him. They expect him to just belt it everywhere every time he has a bat in his hand. And Finch, is he a bit not past it's wrong, but he's had a shocker of a big bash. I mean, Renegades are absolutely glued to the bottom of the table, aren't
well, Maxwell, I don't think has done a lot for about the past 5 years in the big bash in the IPL. To be fair to him, so you can kind of understand him getting released. Yes, there was that big thing a few years ago about him being the big show and all this kind of shit. Not that he's not a very, very good one-day player, T20 player, but there seemed whether that was self-promotion or the people around him. But he's not done a lot certainly in the IPL. Smith, they're obviously he's thrown himself, as we discussed the other week, with his behaviour. Whether you think it was right, wrong, or whatever, has put himself in the firing line. Especially when you're doing it against India and you're on a contract for about $4 million, you're brave there, if I'm being honest. Not that he needs the cash. And then Finch, again, just hasn't done a lot. I mean, he's mucked himself around in the batting order when he was opening the bat. Unless he's playing against England, I mean, there's a one surefire way to Aaron Finch to score 100, and that's get the England one-day bowlers bowling him. But against anyone else, he's not done a lot. So, I mean, there's some other quite sort of big releases that have gone off. Most of the England lads have been retained, apart from I think 3. So yeah,
who are those 3? I've not seen any of this news today.
Tom Curran, Banton, Harry Gurney has been released, and one other, I think.
I thought Harry Gurney was a pub landlord now. I didn't even think he.
Good pub.
I didn't realise he got there.
Good pub as well. Good pub.
He's got 3 now, though, I think.
Yeah, all good pubs.
Tom Banton, I'm not really surprised at. He played for the Knight Riders, I think, and didn't really do a right lot when he played in the most recent one. Really good talent, but yeah, maybe it's a bit too far for him. Tom Curran, you say?
Tom Curran, yeah. Sam Curran's been retained, but Tom Curran's been released.
Interesting.
I think
they obviously rate Tom very highly from an England perspective. Like, he's given some pretty tough overs to kind of bowls the 20th over a lot for England. That's interesting because I think he's a genuine all-rounder. I think he can whack it and he can bowl.
Just a shame he's not the most talented person.
It's very quiet.
That must be really irritating.
We are actually on, and we're testing
our
platform on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. If it works, we might leave it over. But,
Sorry, mate.
I do want to interact with John and Simon right now.
I'm clearly talking about golf.
Live, lads.
Yeah, my brother's better than me at golf. Well, I've dealt with that a long time ago.
Yeah. What about rugby? What about life? What about being a good bloke?
He's not great at a lot of sports. What he does is boss life.
He's good at life.
Oh, smashes it. Absolutely smashes it out of the park. Good work, Mal. Love it.
Matt's watching from his COVID sick bed. This is a shocker. I hope you're all right, mate. What on earth? I'm going to say what's happened. You've obviously got COVID. How's that come about? Let us know how you're doing, mate. Hope you're nearest and dearest to bringing soup and whatever else people get when they're ill. But obviously throwing it at you 2 meters away rather than getting too close while you're in strict isolation.
Yeah, I might give it to Amy as missus before. Let's go for that one. Let's not get too close.
Steve Smith had a shocker of an IPL, but has since found form again. Did all right in the Test series. Without, he's not getting to the levels that he did when he played against us, obviously.
Well, he obviously had that first test where he wasn't great, and then he got 130, 70, whatever. Like, started looking something like again. I think he's a good player. Oh,
my mate Kieran just bowls absolute left arm whiffers, and he just used to larrup him over extra cover. That'll get a nibble. Don't you worry about that. Got a cute dog though. Evening, Dom. So Smith, Maxwell, Finch. Are we surprised that? As they're three pretty big names, but for whatever reason,
Smith will get signed. Someone else will sign him. Maxwell, I don't know. Finch has got to start showing some kind of form somewhere. But
is it just a case of the franchises thinking, right, we're going to just, rather than retain them, we're going to release them back into the auction. Yes, we might not get them again.
Yeah,
Evening Fletch. But it gives ourselves the opportunity to try and get someone else.
You never know.
2 players for the same wages that we pay Steve Smith or a Maxwell or a Finn.
You never know. Halesey might be in for an enormous payday from one of the guys that's been one of them.
Right. I know Fletcher's just joined, but the only thing that Alex Hales spends his big paychecks on, and this is obviously, I'm obviously joking, but I just love the term nose beers. I heard that for the first time today. So maybe Alex Hales should just play cricket for free, less nose beers, get him in the World T20 squad.
I think we've discussed that before, and I don't think it's going to happen. As much as we would love it to happen, I don't think it is going to happen. He's obviously very good, isn't he? He's obviously very good. But you say that Jason Roy's had a very good Big Bash. David Malan hasn't, but has consistently performed for England. So you can say you've got to get him in the squad. Where is he going? Where is he going to?
I mean, interesting. I like that. One of our viewers has come to note to Hales. He's a pea-heart. Fair. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, Dom supports Leeds though, so he knows naff all about most things. But I mean, he's good at his cricket knowledge. He's top form. Fairness.
Top four.
Top form.
Oh, four. He's the four. I know him. I've captained him in various different things, and I wouldn't ever describe him as a PR. But yeah, he's made some interesting choices, and he's arguably going to regret them for however long. But he ain't going to play for England.
Left as soon as I mentioned nose beers, I think.
Yeah, I can't imagine why. No, it's he's shot himself in the foot, Annie. And don't get me wrong, I don't feel sorry for him because he's earning a truck ton of money, traveling around to all these various different leagues. Yeah, you're right, Louis. But he's not going to play for England again. Not while.
While Morgan's in charge, I can't see it.
No, and while they've got that kind of access of the people that they want to try and get in, you look who they're blooding, the young lads that they're bringing in. He's gone behind Billings, Banton, all these younger. Well, Billings isn't that young anymore, but these kind of.
Billings has had a decent IPL, a decent Big Bash. He's a good player.
Yeah, well, he's playing in the same side of Halsey, isn't he? So,
both at the Thunder, aren't they?
Yeah. I just can't see it. Can't as much as I'd love it to happen. I think he's pissed on his chips. So, and you can. I know Eugene's got a bit of a phrase saying his aunt runs the currency. Well, unfortunately, not.
Yeah, I agree. And we're going to bring Eugene in a minute, so I want to move on to England and India. But I think you're right. Does Morgan want to go and win the T20 with a load of blokes who are, for want of a better expression, whiter than white, or in terms of their personality and kind of never rock the boat, or does he want the best players?
I don't.
Does Halleck Tales automatically walk into the side if it was based purely on talent and runs alone? I don't know whether he does.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not on the same level as when they dropped Peterson. The sister-in-law's joined. I can't see that lasting long.
Sister-in-law's in.
Like, I can't see it. It's not the same situation. You're not your top run scorer who's got a history of thing, and then you've binned him, despite the fact of saying you're going to get a chance. Halsey, like I say, you've got Roy, Bairstow, Milan, Banton, Billings, Stokes, Butler. You've got these guys. Morgan. Yeah. Is he in your top 7? You could form a very good argument that he is, and you could form an equally as good argument that he isn't.
On that note,
I'll go.
Yes, thank you for your time so far, Simon. No doubt we will have you back later on.
Indeed.
I want to talk wicket keeping with Eugene Berger and wicket keeping in India. Not that he's ever done either, but it'd be interesting to see his thoughts on how England are going to shape up. Eugene, right? Okay. The other thing that I want to ask him about is how on earth we think our multi-platform, what do you call it's gone. The other thing that I want to ask him about is how on earth. Hi, mate. How are we doing it, taking over the world on a global level across platforms? How are we doing it, taking over the world on a global level? Wowzers.
We're live on the other two platforms right now. We're live on YouTube, we're live on Facebook, we're live on Twitter at the same time.
Yeah. So onto cricket. I've muted it. No, that happened to me. You have to mute your Riverside. Yeah, I mean, I thought you were absolutely the man to talk to about this, so that's why that's why I came to you. So Benfo, people are calling for him to play in Sri Lanka. We know now Butler's going home after the first test, so we'll probably keep in the first test, but that will then mean that he and folks keep in 3 tests each. What do we think? Is that the right call? The way to do it? He's had no warm-ups. Right. What do you think? Is that the right call? The way to do it? He's had no warm-ups.
I'm a huge Benfo fan. I don't know why he got dropped in the first place when he made his test century over in Sri Lanka all those years ago. So, Rashid is a running joke between myself and Steve Watson. My Butler got back into the side. Butler's probably, in my opinion, the third best keeper that England have right now. It's supposed to be number 1.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then you've got to look at what Robert mentioned a little bit earlier about the currency of runs. Yeah, and that's where Butler comes in. So, you know, Butler can really change a game for you. So,
when
at the moment, they've just got,
when we're talking about runs and currency and this, that, and the other, I mean, Butler, it's weird, isn't it? Every time people say, oh, you know, but he can change the game for you. Yes, he absolutely can. He's a bit like Maxwell in that sense. But how often does he? You know what I mean? I think, what's he got? 2 Test 100s, maybe, or 1. I think he got his maiden one, didn't he, at Old Trafford? I don't really buy into the whole, you know, game changer thing, really. You know, we've seen it once with Gilchrist, and everybody's trying to recreate Adam Gilchrist. You can't recreate Adam Gilchrist. He was an absolute one-off. Opened the batting in white ball cricket, blasted it at 7 for the Australian Test side for a number of years. But sorry, Butler is not Adam Gilchrist. Johnny Bairstow is not Adam Gilchrist. I don't think we'll see another Adam Gilchrist for a long time, if ever. And I think comparatively, you know, it's almost a hiding to nothing for these keepers to be, oh, they're trying to be the new Gilchrist. Why put that pressure on them? Just go out and play, and if you're good enough, you get in, and if you're not, you're playing the white ball or not at all.
Why put that pressure on them? Just go out and play, and if you're good enough, you get in, and if you're not, you're playing the white ball or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's not often that you see a side, and I mean, you know, England could possibly do it with 3 keepers and with 2 of them in the field.
Right.
That's the sort of teams that they have. I mean, you can argue that.
Same in the white ball with Billings. If you replace Folks with Billings in the white ball side, then, you know, more often than not, anybody who's a wicket keeper is an amazing fielder because they're quite small, they're very agile, they're very quick. You know, you've seen Butler do it in the white ball format, although he kept in the World Cup. Bairstow obviously does it cross format, and then Sam Billings does it in the white ball format as well. So they absolutely hold their value across formats of fielders, regardless of whether they got the gloves or not. I think there's such a high price put on batting ability now. Obviously, Pope has kept. Rory Burns started life as a keeper in his younger days. But by the sounds of it, Folks is probably 2nd or 3rd choice within the. To be fair, Notty, Alan Knott, great mate of mine from Streatham and Marlborough, has just actually raised a very good point. When I say about young, fit, agile, quick, Notty disproves every single one of those 4 points. But he's an absolute belter of a bloke and loves a beer after the game. Not a nose beer, just a beer. Yeah, I do. That's your fault. You've started. You've woken the beast. You know, poke the dog. But obviously, with Butler going home, it's about protecting the mental health and bubble fatigue and this, that, and the other. Right call, wrong call. It's about protecting the mental health and bubble fatigue and this, that, and the other. Right call, wrong call.
I think it's a great call. You know, you look at the schedule that England have. They have to come and go with some form of bubble rotation. You know, they have to get people home, get them, you know, to themselves. I mean, are they going to go to the IPL too?
India to the IPL, yeah. Yeah, I think they will. Then into an English summer, then into the World T20, then into the Ashes. You can't. I think England are doing this quite well. They are saying to lads, look, if you want to go and play in the IPL, go and play in the IPL because we understand that it earns you so much money that you have to go and do it. And fair play to him for kind of accepting that and taking that on and saying, yeah, okay, we get it and we understand it. We're not going to stand in your way. And I think that's, you know, brilliant. The fact that, you know, that's Stokes, Butler, Sam Curran, Archer, Morgan's going to have obviously that and then the T20 World Cup. But I think they do want to keep people fresh, don't they? You know, bubble fatigue and being away from family for so long. There's that poor Indian bloke who's been away for so long, he missed the birth of his kid. And he still hasn't met his kid, who's probably now 2 or 3 months old.
That poor Indian bloke who's been away for so long, he missed the birth of his kid. And he still hasn't met his kid, probably now 2 or 3 months old. Yeah, and then there's also that Shirok who missed his father. I mean, you know. Yeah. There's just a crazy world we live in. You know which side?
Yeah. I thought you were going to say Pakistan then. I thought we were going to go political. I was like, no.
I thought you were saying Pakistan.
Yeah, I was talking about that earlier with Robbo. Yeah, interesting that. I think three big names really from the white ball format. Obviously, Smith plays cross format. Maxwell and Finch kind of dip in and out of red ball, but yeah, I don't know whether it's because these franchises are saying, right, for the money we pay those three, we can probably get 2 or 3 other lads in per one because they'll be on such big wages. Or whether they're just happy to now have a bit of a look and see what else they can maybe come up with in the draft. I think, I know you're into your drafts and you know American football and that kind of stuff. I don't really understand the drafting system. I know the American one's slightly different the way they do it; it's a lot more intense. But it'd be interesting to see how the IPL probably push on with their drafting system to see.
The IPL probably push on with their drafting system.
Right.
And it's shortened version now, so it's not a normal draft like normal years because of the condensed time frames that they have. So it's shortened draft really quickly.
Absolutely.
You know, it's very different to the way they normally.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
There's more opportunities because people can pick up really quickly. I mean,
what do we think the team's going to look like? The England team's going to look like in India. So obviously Stokes is back, Wokes is available, Ali will be available, Ollie Pope, Archer's back. I mean, England are a bit spoiled for choice, aren't they, at the minute? They've got so many options. I mean, the 2 spinners have bowled dreadfully. Yeah, I know we kept them to under 3 and over today. But they didn't bowl well. They didn't create any chances. I mean, Anderson taking 3 wickets. Wood bowled himself into the ground in that 3rd session, bowling 8 on the spin, I think, and managed to get rid of Chandimal. But I mean, that wicket today looked pretty placid, didn't it?
But I mean, that wicket today looks pretty placid, didn't it? For me, it looks like a good cricket wicket for day 1. You know, if we want to have another test match like 150 all out, like even if it wasn't a test match, it wasn't the wicket they were enough. But from my perspective, it looks like a good wicket. It means that we might get 5 days of cricket. So I think cricket wickets need to deteriorate in days 3, 4, and 5.
Fair enough. I thought it was flat. But as per usual, we disagree on something. You know, it wouldn't be a Friday or a Monday Monday through Sunday if we hadn't disagreed about something. We'll come on to West Indies in Bangladesh later. There's a lot of talk surrounding the Australian captain. You know, people questioning whether Payne. I know Lang has come out and publicly backed him until the end of the Ashes. The 2 options other than that people are talking about are Steve Smith. I don't think he should ever be able to do it again. And I know Ricky Ponting said that a long time ago. I think even Shane Warne said that. One of the more sensible things he's ever said. But the only other option that seems to be being bandied about is Pat Cummins, which I think is so left field. I don't think bowlers particularly make great captains. I think they bowl when they shouldn't and often don't bowl when they should. But yeah, so I think that'd be a real strange decision. I mean, just let him continue to concentrate on being the best bowler in the world, right?
So yeah, so I think that'd be a real strange decision. I mean, just let him continue to concentrate on being the best bowler in the world.
No, mate, I'm a genuine all-rounder, if you don't mind. I'm aware that's a nibble, so I'll just chalk that one up for my first one tonight.
I'm a genuine all-rounder, if you don't mind. I'm aware that's a nibble, so I'll just chalk that one up for my first one tonight. Look, I think Pat Cummins has earned his stripes. He's done well. You know, he's been in the side for long enough. I mean, he was man of the series in the last against India. So he's obviously done something right.
Stuart Broad did it in the T20 World Cup and was absolutely garbage in the group stages. Yeah, but probably would refer to himself as an all-rounder. You don't often see it. It doesn't really happen all that often. Certainly not in the longer format.
You don't often see it. It doesn't really happen all that often. Do you think it's because of the injuries? Do you think it's because of the injuries that bowlers have? You know, you never target them.
Possibly. I mean, the boys, Louis and Simon have just said Sean Pollock. Yeah, I'd say he was an all-rounder. Yes, he was. He opened the bowling, but he was an all-rounder. Holder, again, I'd say he's an all-rounder. I mean, you think out-and-out bowler, like Chris Martin was never going to captain New Zealand. Courtney Walsh, never going to. Glenn McGrath, never going to do it. James Anderson, never going to do it.
Chris Martin was never going to captain New Zealand.
I'd say he's an all-rounder. Yeah, I'd say he's an all-rounder. You don't get bowlers who've never... if people have got first-class hundreds and test hundreds, then they're an all-rounder in my book, I think. Louis says, bowlers are good at bowling with emotion, so hard to captain with all that pride and ego going on. I think you're quite right. They seem to think that batters have got a better temperament for it because generally it's more about staying calm rather than can you imagine Alan Donald being the captain and charging in and giving Mike Atherton an earful when he nicked off and wasn't given out for the next hour all that time ago. I just think Cummins would be I've never met him, probably never will. I'm sure he's a decent fella with his head screwed on, but I just think for a bowler, I just think it's. I'm just not sure whether that's I'm not sure I'd ever that bowler as a test captain. West Indies in Bangladesh. Well, Jesus, I mean, it's like the boards at an airport. It's changing that quickly. Unbelievable.
It's like the boards at an airport. It's changing that quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, today they did, yeah. So they're 2-0 up in the series. It'd be interesting to see. Maybe we can get Josh on again in a couple of weeks because obviously this is his first experience of playing, international level cricket in Bangladesh. It'd be interesting to see. I mean, Shakib Al Hassan has been obviously had a ban, but he's come back and it's just basically just gone. Yeah, I'm still really good at this. Yeah, unbelievable. He had that amazing World Cup, didn't he? And then and now he's back and taking poles and scoring runs and whatever. Obviously, Josh has found it difficult. He opened the batting and got he had 2 single-figure scores. One's opening the batting, one's batting at 3. But I think across 2 games, I think there's only maybe 4 or 5 of the lads who've got into double figures.
But I think across 2 games, I think there's only maybe 4 or 5.
Yeah, they're missing a lot of their key players, aren't they? There's a lot of them deciding not to go.
I don't think they chose not to send the full side to Bangladesh because of the side. I think it's publicity. I remember Jason Holden mentioning when he was a big fan, the challenges of bubble fatigue and how he probably will take a break straight after it's finished. To watch them play. So look, I think everyone's experience, because I mean, these guys are human beings. We can have our opinions of we pay our fees.
Yeah, I think absolutely. We've got to concede ground to them. There's no way I don't think that anybody who's a cricket lover or enjoys watching cricket or playing cricket can turn around to anybody who's choosing to kind of spend a bit of time at home, given the circumstances over the last kind of 12 months, and say, that's the wrong thing to do. I don't think anybody's got any right to do that just because we're paying a Sky subscription or anything else. You've got to let these lads, gather themselves mentally and allow them to live their own lives, so they don't have that burnout. My dog is chewing something in the room next door to me, and I'm really worried that it could be like one of my golf clubs. It could be anything. Normally, he goes for coat hangers, so let's hope it's just one of those little shit.
I'm really worried that it could be like one of my golf clubs. It could be anything. Normally, you go for coat hangers, so let's hope it's just one of those.
I'm going to drop off. For those of you that are on the other platforms, head over to Instagram. It's been great. Dawson's been on.
Beautiful. Beautiful, lovely.
Dominic's come across from that point of view. I think Matt Alfred's come across.
He's from the South Island in New Zealand, though. I'm not sure that's I'm going to see that as a battle lost already, mate. To be quite honest. Right for now, then, Eugene. Great to speak to you, mate. And then, yeah, we'll get we'll get Robbo back on. See you later. Right, removing huge. Lads, have you got any points or questions that you, lads and ladies? Sorry, Siobhan. Yeah, you want us to discuss anything in particular, then by all means, put it in the comments. Fruit Bat's got a put in, Matt? Surely not. I don't believe it.